Oh,
Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Let's get Becky up on the screen. People are still rolling in. We've got a couple people having some difficulties getting in, so we'll just keep letting them in as they roll in. So hi, everybody. So we are either flying high or still exhausted from the weekend. We had an incredible weekend. We had our big auction. If y'all were there, thank you for everybody for being there. Thank you to all of you who have been working for months on this, collecting donations for the baskets, donating your vacation homes, spreading the word, gathering your friends, bringing them. It was absolutely incredible. It was definitely our biggest to date. It was very successful, and so we are just really grateful. We've got some sore feet today, but we are all flying high. So thank you to everybody out there. And I wanted to give a special shout out too to I have to share this with y'all. This guy, a friend of Sherry, a friend of the Penningtons. Oh, people are still rolling in. Friend of the Penningtons. I'll be putting a post out on social media. I just haven't gotten a chance to do that yet, but I want to give a big shout out to this guy, Kevin Hellrig. Sherry, you'll have to help me with his pronunciation. He was our photographer for the night, and he did such an incredible job. Sherry, where are you? Trying to get her up on the screen. There we go. He did such an incredible job on the pictures, you guys. And this was a last minute thing where like a week before, Sherry was trying to rally some folks and he was willing just to come, drop everything, whatever, and come. And he spent the entire time there with us. He donated his time to be there to do this for us. And his pictures are like amazing. Sherry, tell us about this friend of yours.
So Kevin Hellriegel, he does a lot of studio photography for schools. So he's in a lot of the schools and does that as his main business. So yeah, he's just a really great person. He's local here in Kent, and he does like senior portraits. He travels for senior portraits. So he went and did our neighbors down in Arizona. And, I think he went to Hawaii and did like family portraits in Hawaii for people too. So, so he travels and does like portrait sittings for people too. So, I would imagine there's a cost to it, but he's like, yeah, sure, I'll travel. I'll go do it. So
a total nice guy,
super nice guy. And I mean, I was really impressed with the shots he got. Definitely had but we were trying to find people and it was like everybody's all booked up, right? And so he got to a place where he was like I'll do it, I gotcha. So yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Yeah, and I kind of expected, someone so last minute. I didn't know he was that good. You know what I mean? I just thought great pictures, fine. Pictures are pictures. At least we're going to get some captures. But when I saw those pictures, I was like, oh my gosh, he was, he's really legit. So, so that was really cool for him to just completely donate his time like that and do all that work. And so I just want to put his name out there, and we'll get him up on social media here in the next couple of days, and just keep him in mind, y'all. Keep him in mind. He does good work, and he gave his time like that. It was pretty cool. So thank you for hooking us up on that. So I'm gonna, Becky, do you or Bill have anything to say, anything to share?
I just want to thank everybody that was there for their patience with the check-in and check-out. And then also just the whole process of getting your tickets and getting your bidder number and the whole claim bidder number thing. I mean, it was pretty confusing, I think, for a lot of us. And anyway, I just want to thank everybody for their patience with it, because we were doing the best we could, but everybody was great. I thought everyone was in a good mood, and it made it a lot easier. So thank you so much. And then I'll take you over to it's not really a recliner, but
This
The
is
energy-
Bill Wiggins, the president of our board. We got a couple new people on tonight, so let me introduce you. This is Bill Wiggins and his wife, Becky, and he is on our board of directors, our president. So go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, the whole energy of the event was so good. I was focusing on other things, and I just was so impressed with the energy. And I wanted to do a special thanks to the Rebuild Recovery crew. That we couldn't have done it without those guys showing up and doing all the setup and the
Yeah.
tear down. You know, Travis got in the way a little bit, but we worked around him. So it was a very good effort. I got to ride and spend some time with Ty, and I really enjoyed that. But you guys were at Rebuild Recovery were a huge part of pulling that off. So thank every one of you.
Yeah. And anybody that was there that didn't realize all the workers, man, the people tracking the bidding, the desserts lady models, they look so beautiful with their desserts. All these young people are those, you know, the crew in recovery, and it was just so beautiful. We couldn't have asked for more. And thanks for all the support. And we already can't wait for next year because it was just so much fun. So anyways, thank you, everybody. And tomorrow morning, we are back to Mom's Group. So we've had the last couple weeks off. I'm going to mute that because I got some. Oh, wait, that was somebody else.
Switch to.
Oh, there we go. She didn't realize she was unmuted. Tomorrow morning, we've taken the last couple weeks off of Mom's Group because we've been so focused on the auction, but we're back to it tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you, all you ladies. So on Wednesday mornings, 11 a.m., we do a ladies group, Moms of Battlefield, but it's really for all ladies. It's a 1-hour coffee date from your home on Zoom. So if you've never attended, please, you're invited. All you need to do is reach out to me or Becky for the link. It's a separate Zoom link than tonight, and we just connect. We talk about the topic from the night before and process, or you know, we have a nice time getting to know each other when there's new people popping on. Whatever the needs are that week, that's what we spend our hour doing. So all you ladies are invited. So look forward to that tomorrow morning. So and with that, let's move it on over to back to the crew here. Let's remove the spotlights. So if you're new tonight, let me introduce you to Mr. Kyle Munkers. This is Kyle. He's a manager over at Rebuild Recovery, but he's also our comedian that brings us a little humor to start out our night every Tuesday. And he's coming at you from Kyle's Corny Comedy Corner. Take it away.
She said it right. All right. Bill, you're welcome. I don't know if you guys saw me in an awesome suit that I purchased my own.
He looks so handsome.
I really did. But I don't know if you guys noticed the one that was recording the stuff happened to be me, you know, and it was also, you know, a good looking guy wearing the suit helping the auctioneer. That was also me. And there's also somebody helping roll the tables at the end. That was also me. So you're welcome. I was able to dictate a couple people to help, but okay. Oh, and there's Mom groups tomorrow. Don't forget. All right. What's the deal with homework? I mean, you're not even working on your home. All right. Oh, yeah, so good. All right. If honeybees make honey, what kind of bees make milk? Boobies. I quit my job at the helium factory. I didn't like their tone. I asked my phone, I said, Alexa, why am I so bad with women? I said, I'm Siri, you asshole. I got an identical twin brother, and we used to do this thing called the Twins Club. Our mom used to drag us to. While there, we met this other family, and there's a set of twins named Amal and Juan. Well, their mom used to only carry one picture of one of them, because if you've seen one, you've seen them all. Don't throw sodium chloride at people. That's a salt. I know I've mentioned my Viagra addiction before. Well, one time I overdosed on Viagra. It was the hardest night of my life. We have a client who likes pouring liquid into cups. We call him Phil. I'm always telling the females of the female clients, if you guys ever meet a handsome but weird guy, that's the kind of guy you don't listen to. Yeah, and now they won't talk to me. We have this neighbor with huge boobs that's always walking around outside with no shirt on. Yeah, I wish his wife would do the same.
All right. Oh, they're all clapping. They're all clapping. You just can't hear them.
Yeah, of course they have.
Thank you, Kyle.
I think we should be putting these on TikTok. I think we should be filming those for TikTok.
Yeah.
We need to build Kyle's social media platform.
So
How
let me
much
say
media-
oh,
Go ahead.
I just want to
Sorry.
say real quick, if you're new tonight, welcome. We'd love to say hi and get to know you a little bit later. We'll open up to where we can say hi and meet you, but just welcome. We're glad you're here.
It's, for the last couple of days, or even I would say it's been like I had a couple of things happen like a week ago. Where you're doing this, I guess you call it addiction treatment stuff, or helping people get sober, and it is a serious roller coaster. And one day people are standing up giving you an ovation for all the people you help, and then the next day somebody's telling you you ruined their life, and then somebody else is telling you that you're trying to con them or whatever it is, and you're a fraud or whatever, and it goes like that. It just, one day you feel like you're on somebody's success journey, and one day you're on their failure journey with them, and it's a lot. And part of the thing about a good drug addict, one of the things that they specialize in is making sure that everyone around them knows that the addiction is everyone around them's fault. A good drug addict is really good at continuing to be an addict and convincing everyone else around them that they're the problem. I don't know if you call it gaslighting or whatever, but people are pretty good at it. And so, if you're a good drug addict, you got to be good at that. You got to have the skill. Addictive behavior is like, it's crazy, man. You're doing all this stuff to punish yourself, and you're hurting yourself, and it's so painful, and you're doing it to feel better, but it's painful. And you really see that would be hard to do that to yourself and then not explain to people why it's not your fault. It would be a hard thing to try to justify doing that to yourself. You can't figure out why you're screwing up your life. And so, people lay it off, and then something happens when people bring their loved one here. When they finally get them here, somebody comes in and they ask me a great question. They say, "What's your success rate?" It's always asking me, what's your success rate? I think that starts the problem right there. Nobody ever comes in and goes, "What's the success rate of the clients?" Nobody ever says, "What's the success rate of the people that, what's their success rate? What's the success rate of people that in recovery?" So there's always this fundamental thing that's going on in the treatment world that we as treatment providers need to provide better outcomes. And so there it begins. It's the same thing. It's never the drug addict's fault. It's never their responsibility. You look around the world and they say that, well, the drug addicts are drug addicts because people abandoned them or didn't love them. And, it's a constant thing where the onus is never put on the addict. And we end up in this position where it seems like families and communities work harder to change than the addict sometimes. And so lately what we've been discussing here is we've had clients go and do, we had a client go and do what's called Ibogaine, which is a plant which is supposed to reset the receptors in a brain, in someone's brain, and help them with providing them with a blank slate or something to kind of refresh, restart, and re-up the mind. And so we've all been talking about that as a crew, here in our groups and discussing it. And it's allowed me to think a lot about it. And it's allowed me to really reflect on, what would that do? And then the person who did it, he made a great comment. He said, well, if we brought that to America and let people do it, it would revolutionize drug treatment. And I had to think about that for a long time. I had to think about, would I want that? If anyone knows, over the past 11 years, I've really developed an appreciation for every aspect of recovery and people's different way of doing it. And I've had that kind of an eclectic mix of letting that all come in and letting people do what they want to do and appreciating that. And it took me a long time to get to that point. I guess whenever you do something yourself, you want everyone to kind of do it like you. It's only natural. You want them to do it your way. So it's unnatural to allow for people to do it their way, but I'm working on it. And so I'm not here to say whether that's good or bad. What I'm here to talk about is, success rate. They don't ask people to go in to be a Green Beret or to an Army Ranger. They don't ask what is the success rate of the program. They ask something else. They ask what the dropout rate is. What's the dropout rate? And if you look at any good program in our country or in the world, any good program has a very, very, very high dropout rate. Really, and if you make it through that, you've done something. And I think that is kind of how we should be talking about the treatment world. We actually should have a more, not only should we not be worrying about I don't have to sit here and worry about my success. It's not the way what's my program success rate? I think that's a crazy question. I think it's insane. What would I do to make that different? What would I do to make somebody else, drug addiction and addiction is the only thing that we believe that if we change, the other people will stop doing what they're doing. It's like somebody's getting a lot of tickets in their car and a family's sitting around going, how do we make it so this guy doesn't get a lot of tickets in his car? Somebody's eating a lot of bad food. We sit around as a group of people and go, how do we stop that person from eating all this bad food? Somebody's gambling all their money away, and we sit around as a group of people and go, hey, what do we got to do different so they don't gamble? It's the only thing that we've kind of focused on, that everyone else should have to do something different so an addict doesn't use drugs. And families are all on here tonight, and they're wondering, they come in and they say, well, what do I got to do to change so my addict doesn't use drugs? That's a question that people are coming with. It's insane. It's really insane. And the ups and downs of this job come from the fact that we put ourselves on that ride, that when a drug addict uses drugs in our program, we feel responsible. We feel like we've done something wrong. And I just want to point out that that's kind of the way the addiction world works, because addicts have gotten real good at convincing the world that when they use drugs, somebody else has done something wrong. And we have to live that way. And we don't come in here and go, hey, 1 out of 100 makes it through my program. And that's the way I like it. If one person out of 100 makes it through my program, they're going to make it in life. So we have a high dropout rate. We actually pound on them until they quit. Mm-hmm. We couldn't say that. We have to say, well, we have to be real therapeutic. We have to be real nice. We have to hold them like little baby birds and make sure that they don't use drugs. And we can't be mean to them. And we got to make sure they like their roommate. And we got to make sure there's no wrong eggs in the eggshells in the eggs. And
all the food they want.
Yeah, we got to have all the food they want. And we as a program, we just cherish these little tiny baby birds. And we make sure that they don't use drugs throughout our program. I don't know if that's the way it should be. We allow for them to, whatever it is. And so I think that I think we've kind of got this set up to fail. When a person goes in, I don't think if you're bringing your loved one to, adultery, there's a thing that, really is a lot like drug use. It's a behavior that someone does to feel different, to escape. They have to cover it up. They get high when they do it. They come after they commit adultery. They go back to the house and feel probably pretty guilty, I assume. But, we would never take that on as a community, what we've done wrong to this man, that we haven't connected with this man deep enough. And maybe the man will try to convince his wife, hey, I commit adultery because of you. But that's just as sick. I wouldn't go to a weight loss clinic program, show up to a weight loss program and ask them, what are you going to do to make me not eat bad? What is it that you're going to do? What's your success rate? See, that would be insane. And so part of the different way to look at this thing, and I think it needs to be looked at different, is not what is our success rate. See that right there. And the treatment industry gets real high when you ask what the success rate is. You know why they like it? Because they want to say that you staying sober is their success. They want that. So they're willing to take on all the failure to take the glory of the few people. If you guys in this room stay sober, guess what? It is not my success. It's yours. It has nothing to goddamn do with me. I'm here as a person who stood by you. If you climbed Mount Everest and I walked up beside you, did I climb Mount Everest for you? I didn't do it. It's the person who climbed. And so this idea that they come in and ask me, and I've fallen into the trap, Art, what's your success rate? I start, oh shit, what am I going to say here? And the bottom, even other dirtier secret behind that is nobody really knows. Because guess what? When a drug addict is getting high, he don't admit it. So whatever program says they know what their success rate is not true. Unless you're telling me that you have actually been with them for 20 years, followed them around, you ate them, peed in a cup every week. That would be very difficult. And so I want to change the perspective a little bit. And I want to tell you, I don't want recovery to change. I don't want anything to change. I don't want sobriety to change, recovery to change, treatment to change. I don't want any of it. I think it's beautiful. I think the idea that you actually get from this what you put into it. Every family on here and every person in this room is going to get out of recovery exactly what they put into it. Not what somebody else put into it. Not what somebody else did for you. It's what your family put into it. And addiction is, and I'm sorry for the people who are new, you're going to have a hard time with this one, but it's just true in our experience that addiction is beautiful. That actually it does what it does. And you got to look at the beauty of it. You got to look at the fact that this thing takes a family down a spiral journey and actually has them face themselves in the bottom of it, and then has them have to do this very, very hard work. There's a lot of families that don't get to experience it. They don't get to. And what happens is they run a really mundane, kind of normal life where they never connect with each other, where they just kind of get further and further apart, and they begin to oblige each other on birthdays and show up because that's the thing to do. And they don't have any deep conversations, and they fake it with each other, and they never learn meaningful relationship stuff. They never learn to connect deeper, but it's what got us all here. It's what got every family here. It's what put me to my knees and made me look at myself. It's what actually has done everything for me in my life. And I've gotten exactly out of this thing what I put into it. Every ounce. It works perfectly. Every ounce you put in, you get back. And actually more than you put in. And so this idea that somehow anything needs to change, I think what has to happen is people have to develop an appreciation for this struggle And any good program, people don't make it. I'm sorry. Any good program, people don't make it. Because if everybody made it, it's like kindergarten graduation. How fun is that? Absolutely ridiculous. We're doing kindergarten graduation. Hey, what'd you do to make it? Well, my parents drove me here and I had to come here. And you go to a 30-day program and somebody goes, how did you stay sober? Well, 24-hour supervision. That's not it. Well, the guard at the door, the metal detectors, the UAs, all that made it pretty difficult to use drugs. And then the person graduates them and goes, we did it. We're successful. That's not it. Whether a person stays sober or not is not even any part of my success or failure. Has nothing to do with me. And that's weird coming from a guy that's supposed to be helping people get sober. It's about standing next to people on the journey. It's about being there for them. Sometimes this thing's like a rodeo. Sometimes you get on and they're a bucking, bull, and you got to just hang on for 8 seconds. And maybe you can calm it down, maybe. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes, there's variations of it all different ways. And so what I've learned about reflecting on it and I want it to do exactly what it does. If ibogaine was a thing that came into our country, I'll appreciate that too. I think it'll be beautiful. And if I think but I still believe that people will get out of sobriety and recovery exactly what they put in. And I don't think that it works any other way in your life about anything you do. Everything works this way. And so I want family members and I want you guys to understand you're going to get exactly what you put into your life in every area. And it has nothing to do with the program you're in, has nothing to do with the different way that you do it. It has nothing to do with a relationship. You're going to be in a relationship with a girl or guy, you're going to get exactly from that relationship what you put into it. You're going to get from your job what you put into it, and you're going to get from recovery what you put into it. And so I want new families to understand we believe, or we have a position that we take, that addiction is beautiful, because what it does is it requires this. It requires people to actually grow. It requires growth. Without growth, you're not going to make it through this thing. It requires connection. It requires work. And there's a dropout rate. All the families that were on here last year didn't make it. Some aren't connecting anymore, and their kid is out doing what they're doing. They haven't made it. They dropped out. Don't drop out. That's the other thing about this thing, recovery. It's like golf. If you're in it, you're in it. If you're golfing, you're golfing. So if me and Tiger Woods are on a golf course and I have a club and I have a ball, and he has a club and he has a ball, we're both golfing. No one can deny that. It does not matter how you do it. He's golfing and I'm golfing. It just matters what you put into it. Matters that you're there. And so the families that come, don't drop out. The success rate will be based upon what you put into it. The success rate won't change as a program if your kid uses drugs. We're not going to go, some kid here used drugs, we need to change. We might tighten up security a bit. We might look at things. But to be honest, if we have to tighten up security, then that kid's already not putting into it what he needs to get out of it. And so there's some real crazy perspectives that come with addiction and recovery. And one of them is that the success of your family is going to be something to do with us, not you. That's a crazy idea. Hey, I want you to work harder so I have a better success rate. That doesn't work. That will never work. And so people come and they ask, what are you going to do? And I think they do that because drug addicts have convinced you that everything around them needs to change. Everything around them needs to be better. And you see all the parents come with these baby birds. What have these baby birds been doing? Home invasions, check fraud. robbing folks, stealing from the stores, dealing dope. They're not baby birds. Holding up court in abandoned homes, squatting, promiscuous sex, pistols. Nobody in my program is a baby bird. We got some real perpetrators in here. There ain't no victims here.
We got someone who likes to rob gas stations.
Yes. We got ankle monitors up in here. We got breathalyzers on the cars. We got DOC officers checking in. It ain't no joke around
We
here.
got one in jail.
Yeah. So I like to encourage families I think that this gets better for a family at the moment they appreciate it. The moment a family sees and appreciates the journey, and the moment an addict appreciates the idea of what you're involved in, it gets better. To find appreciation for this beautiful thing that's happening in your life. The fact that you get to live too, if you do it right. I got to live a life of 17 years of crime and drugs and isolation and misery, and now I get to live this life. And some people, they just get to live one boring little life. No, nothing really going on. Just, gonna work for 50 years, retire and die. That's not that good. You're gonna need some drama in your life, and this one might as well be what you deal with. And so I think it's important that people get a deep appreciation for this journey. And I have a deep appreciation for the journey. That's why when somebody said that it would be revolutionized, I found myself getting real tense, because I have a deep appreciation for how it is now. I have an appreciation for the struggle that someone must go to get sober, the dropout rate. I'm sorry. I don't think any drug addict would feel proud to get sober if it was like kindergarten graduation. I don't think anyone would feel they did anything if it was like, but people who have changed, this word that people, this sentence that people throw around, I'm going to change my life. Don't say that till you've done it. Don't say that till you've done it, because you disrespect the people that have done it. And to say, I'm going to change my life, do it first. Because when you do it, you have to look and oh my God, I did it. I was this way. No one would trust me. Nobody listened to me. Nobody believed in me. Nobody would let me live in their home. Nobody would let me drive their car. To everybody trusts me. Everybody, I keep my word. When you do that, you don't want people just saying they're going to do it. It's a tough thing, and I appreciate it. The families that have got here that haven't dropped out, the families that are tuning in and their kid is still out there on the streets, and they tune in every week. And the families that tune in still every week and their kid is sober and has bought a home. They didn't drop out. They've done the work. They've put into it what they're getting out of it. Couples are mending relationships on here. Husband and wives coming to us almost ready for divorce, almost ready for divorce, are coming together and sitting on couches together. People are connecting because of this thing. You need to look at this common denominator that puts us all here. And in order for you to enjoy your journey, you're going to have to appreciate this thing. What would I be without it? We do this every day. Kyle's here 24 hours a day. He's been here for 9 days straight. I don't think he's left this place. He's been here. He's putting the work in every day. And the offensiveness of somebody coming to Kyle and going, Kyle, what's your success rate? What do you mean? He's 100% successful. He stays sober, works his ass off to help people every goddamn day. And that's everyone in the treatment industry. That's not just here. The treatment industry is filled with hardworking, sober, amazing people. And because the drug addicts have convinced everyone that nothing's their fault, once again, Now, when they don't stay sober, it's the fault of the treatment center. And when they say, I've been to 13 rehabs, and any family goes, my kid's been to 13 rehabs, I'm always like, those piece of shit rehabs, you know, even me, it tricks me into like, and we never go, wow, your kid hasn't done the work at all.
Right.
Yeah, your kid is like, refused to do the work 13 times. What is he, dense? I mean, you know, I mean, we just automatically go, oh, bad treatment centers. Bad treatment centers. You went to 13. Well, come over to mine. Mine's good. The only difference is I hang on. The only difference is I'm not going to let you go. You're not going to another one because I don't want you going and tell them how I fucked you up. You got to stay.
Yeah.
You ain't going nowhere. But no matter what happens in this industry and whether we you know, I think psychedelics and all this stuff is really cool, cutting edge stuff that is going to come in, and I think that's great too. And I think all of it's neat, and but that's because I appreciate all of it. I used to not have an appreciation for Suboxone. I used to not have an appreciation for any of those things. I appreciate all the stuff. People used to say, you're not sober on Suboxone. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. People on Suboxone are sober. Yeah, they don't do any, they have none of the behaviors that drug addicts have.
I got a new car.
Yeah. so they're, you know, if it ain't sober, it's pretty goddamn, you know, whatever. So I appreciate it all. But again, I want to just encourage families that, you know, you get to do this work. You've been put in a position where something's shown up for you and your family, and you get to, as a family, deal with it. And what if nothing has shown up for you and your family? It's just all easy times. I don't really think that would do anything. I think that you have to have an appreciation for this work, and you have to have an appreciation for what you're going through, an appreciation for climbing the mountain and getting out. And then the feeling of, you know, the great feeling of conquering something and moving on. And this can be conquered.
My family, it's done nothing but bring us all so much closer together.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Even when I was sober prior to even coming here, we weren't as close as we are now. And that's due to just learning this material and learning the life skills that you're in. I like what you said the other day about how it's not always to talk about sobriety. You know what I mean? To talk about, oh, how, you know, clean time and this, that, and the other. It's life skills that you learn here, and it's how to adjust to life on life terms and just everything we need. And
I don't think we talk very little about clean time. It's important, but we talk very little about it here. Because we know, you know, it's either someone's doing the work or they're not. And the clean time is irrelevant, because if they're not doing the work, the clean time don't matter. It's going to go away. If they're doing the work, again, the clean time don't matter, because it's going to stay. So we don't find the difference between maybe Max, who's 2 months sober, compared to anyone else. We look at the work Max is doing right now today. We look at the work someone's doing right now. Well, how are you going to have someone work for you that's only got 2 months? Well, if they're doing the work, they're doing the work. I don't need them to go sit somewhere for a year and come back, show me a UA. So again, that's really all I got tonight. I just wanted everyone that's new, everyone that's coming, to kind of regain an appreciation for this thing that you're up to. You know, really, you're doing something amazing. You're doing this thing called, just something little. What are you doing? I'm just hanging out, changing my life. Just changing my life. And you'll see, that's what you're doing right now, or you're just biding time to go back to what you were doing. One of the two things is going on. I hope you're here and you sit in this room, you're going, I'm here to I'm changing my life. Well, that's a big damn deal. I mean, literally, you're a person that no one would trust, and you're becoming a trustworthy person. That's an incredible thing that has happened. You know, most people that become a person that nobody trusts on this world are never trusted again. Not many people get out of that. And something they do say about addiction, jails, institutions, and death, it is common. That's where it ends. So this idea that I can put work into this thing every day and get the juice out, you should be happy with that. Don't let anybody take that away. Somebody becomes a Navy SEAL. They don't go to the Navy SEALs and go, I don't know, I'm thinking of joining. What's your success rate? But somebody that quits fentanyl and heroin and meth, that's like going through a Navy SEAL program. That's tough. That's something you really earned when you get done. It's something you can hold on to. You know, I can sit in a boardroom of any boardroom in America. I don't care if I feel inferior. I don't care what they say to me. They can run their mouth. They can say anything. And in the end, I'm going to say, have any of you quit heroin? I don't care what the problem is. You whine about those problems. I've had bigger problems. Have any of you been homeless? Have any of you been living in your car and had no one trust you and no one want you around? Okay, are we talking about what the city's going to do with our building or something here? Who gives a shit? We've seen bigger problems and conquered them. We can get this one too. When you beat this thing, you'll see that. It's an important thing to say, hey, what's the dropout rate of your program? How many people make it? Oh, only 1 out of 100? Shit, sounds like I better do the work. I'm going to be that one. Instead of sitting around the room and somebody goes, well, 9 out of 10 fail, and you look around and go, oh, we're not going to make it then. See, to me, when I hear 1 out of 10 make it, I go, oh, well, shit, 9 of you are fucked.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say. You guys ain't going to make it. There's only 10 of us and only one's making it. You guys are fucked. That's all I'm saying. Find something else. Better find yourself a different program.
We got all 10 of them sitting right here.
Okay.
What a
I'll
great
take-
message. I have to say, for anybody who came on late, this recording is available by the next morning. So we upload this, and so it's usually available by 10 a.m. on Wednesdays. So you'll definitely want to listen. This was really good. Really good message. What'd they say?
Especially if you missed the jokes.
Yes. If you miss Kyle's jokes in the beginning, you can rewatch them on YouTube.
Was that a joke? Again and again.
You know, and I want to be careful. I want everyone to know, I don't think people had it perfect. I don't think, you know, I think that the world of addiction is constantly looking into why. Constantly looking into what happened. Constantly trying to figure out, why is this person doing this? And why is that? And I think it's never going to be figured out. And I think there's nothing to it. And I think that it's a mystery and it'll always be a mystery. And I think that's the beautiful part of it. People become addicts that come from good homes, bad homes, people that have been abused, people that have been traumatized, guy that likes to just party too much, people become addicts because of boredom. I think it's beautiful. That's part of the beauty, is that so many different people and so many different types of people can all have this common thing. I love doing drugs. We all got there somehow. And so you can, you know, but I'm not here to say nobody has trauma. There's no problems. People don't need to change. You haven't had it hard. None of that is what I'm saying. Since this doesn't matter. All that matters is the work that you put in to change it. All that matters is the work that you put in yourself, each one of you guys. Doesn't matter the work your family puts in. It doesn't matter what they do. Doesn't matter what I do. It matters the work that you put in. That's it. There's nothing else. And you will get exactly what you put into this thing. And I think it has to work that way. And that's what makes it beautiful. And I think for the time wasted talking about, I think whatever type of therapy, whatever you do is going to work if you give it your all. I've said this before and I'll say it one more time. I think riding on a Ferris wheel 1 hour a day will work for sobriety. If you wake up every day and you go ride the Ferris wheel down in Seattle, make sure you get there at the same time. You just go down to Seattle and you ride the Ferris wheel every morning for 1 hour. You could stay sober that way. And you could credit your sobriety on that. You could tell everyone I stay sober because I ride a Ferris wheel. It's just as arbitrary as sitting in a room with a group of people. Eating caramels. It's the same shit. Well, I stay sober because I go to an AA meeting every day. Well, why don't you go ride the Ferris wheel? What is different? But you stay sober because you come to group every week. Well, maybe go do something else every week. But we can kind of demystify it and say, really, reality is somebody creates a reason they stay sober. They do that every day. And lo and behold, they stay sober because of that. Shit works. Whatever I put into it, I get out. That's the way it works. There's a million different diets. And you've asked 100 people how they lose weight, you will get 100 different answers. 100 different answers. And guess what they'll tell you? Whatever you put into it, you get out. They're not going to go, well, you can't do it without Weight Watchers. There's no other way. Well, Weight Watchers. I drink the shakes. I had the doctor suck it.
It's just like work, you know what I mean? When a person takes pride in their work, takes pride in anything that they do,
They can do it anyway. Yeah.
it becomes that so much of a better product.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel the same way with sobriety, that if you take pride and take pride, like you were saying, in that journey that you walk and walk tall on that, I think it
Yes.
just makes it that much better.
That's all it is, man. That's all this is. It's your journey. That's it. Ain't nobody else's. Pam.
Hi, Art. I just
Yeah.
wanted to give a shout out to Cam for helping Chris move all of his belongings last week. Dave and I are still recovering from COVID, and I was put on Paxlovid, so I'm doing good now.
You
But
don't have your
after-
mask on, Pam. Put your mask on.
Well, Chris is downstairs watching you in another
Okay.
room, and Dave's in another room because he's still not feeling well. But after having a temperature of over 103, I now know what it feels like to be COVID ugly.
Wow.
And
That sounded really weird. That sounded really weird that Chris is downstairs watching me. I don't like that, but
But what I wanted to say about Chris is, I think with what's going on with us right now and the fact that he was moving back home and trying to explain to him, well, the rain's coming and your dad doesn't feel well and we need to get you back here before it starts pouring down rain because nobody has a canopy truck. So Cam offered up and was able to get him back here, and Chris just did what he had to do to make sure everything happened, which wouldn't have happened in the past. He would have been stomping his feet and going, well, I don't know how we're going to get, how I'm going to get this stuff done. It was all
Yeah.
about him. But he actually was thinking about other people. And that would be us as parents.
he's doing pretty good.
Although Cam did one.
He
Remarkable.
really is.
Yeah.
And he's going to start at Orion. They don't have a start date yet, but he will be working there again.
Beautiful.
He just unmuted himself. I think he wants to say something.
Yeah, Art, the
Okay.
only reason I'm down here is the game's on.
Well, don't be watching me from your basement. That's weirding me out.
No, Art, you've changed me for sure. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
Well, that's probably true, Chris. You're special. Yeah. I will take credit for you, Chris.
Wait, me too.
And Kyle wants 50%.
Yeah.
Kyle wants half the success.
Yeah, you've had a long journey with Chris.
No,
In
Nightmare.
more ways than one.
We have.
One journey I haven't appreciated. No, I've appreciated it. It's been great. I'm glad you're better, Pam.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry you missed the auction, darn it.
I know we would have liked to come. Dave's on the road to recovery. He's on another medication, but he's still coughing, and I didn't have that. I just had the high fever. So I have a new appreciation for people that go through COVID.
Is that your first time?
Yep. 2.5 years. I've never had it.
Yeah. Wow. Welcome to the club, Pam.
Yep. And I hope to never
You're
get
now
it
part of
again.
the- You're now part of the club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Art. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So if anybody else out there has any questions, comments, anything, like Pam raised her hand, she used the raise your hand feature. It's just a feature on your device. If you can't figure out that feature, then you can just unmute yourself, get my attention in some way. There were a couple new people on. I think Jean, I saw Jean and Sarah. I don't see Jean anymore. And Sarah, if you'd like to say hi, we'd love to meet you if you turn on your camera. Sometimes new people just want to be quiet and observe too, and that's okay. And then if there's I thought there was one other new one out there that I haven't seen before, and don't know that they're still on. But anybody that's new, we'd love to hear from you, or all of you seasoned people, please. Any comments, questions, anything you got? We've got plenty of time. Not everybody all at once now. There was another one that popped on that, yeah, they're not on anymore either. I didn't recognize the name.
Kyle's jokes probably ran him off again. That's what happens.
Quite a few people tuned in a little late. I know there was maybe an issue with the Zoom, I don't know. But again, if anybody didn't hear the entire message tonight, we record every week and we upload. It's usually available by Wednesdays, 10 a.m. It's always uploaded to our YouTube channel. If you go to our Battlefield Addiction YouTube and click on Solution Groups, they're there. If you're not really tech savvy and don't really know how to find it, just shoot me a text. I'm always happy to send you the recordings.
If anyone figures out why people speed, if everyone can get down to the bottom of why I keep, like today I paid 5 tickets. So I want to, I think it's because Angie doesn't love me enough, and
That's it.
she's not loving me enough, and it requires me to go out and speed, and it actually is my only way to get relief. And maybe it's my trauma. My past trauma has led me to be a speeder, and so I'm trying to figure out if anyone else figures out why people speed, let me know, and then I can maybe stop speeding.
It's because everybody else is going so slow.
Yeah.
Everybody else's fault.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that stuff, that's the thing. That's the tricky stuff here. Is there might be cause and effect. That's true. We don't know. Like it is true. People use drugs because they feel this way or whatever. That's probably true. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't make a difference. It just doesn't mean anything. What matters is this journey. That's it. The judge does not care why I speed. He just doesn't care. Yeah.
Nico's mom is looking good. Tell her she
Kyle! We're not muted, Kyle.
Tell her she's gonna do yoga tomorrow.
What did you say, Kyle?
Oh!
I think he's got a crush. Renee.
Pam, David Pam said, giving yourself enough time to get from point A and B. I always have enough time, Pam. That's not it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so.
Not anymore. It was. Freaked out now. Freaked out now.
Figure out what happened to me today. So I thought I was eating right for 2 days. Well, I was no sugar, no carbs. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm back on track. I'm on day 2 or 3. And then Angie comes in and tells me that the nuts I'm eating have a lot of carbs. But I've been eating a lot of these nuts.
It's not a pack of nuts, y'all. It's a pack of it's not nuts.
Okay.
It might have a couple nuts in it,
So
but it's full of those
it took me-
crispy things.
Cajun style, Cajun mix.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's full of carbs.
Okay, well, I was thinking I was doing good. And then she comes in and she goes, you've been eating sugar and carbs. And I was like, oh,
I said,
didn't
are you
know
sure
that.
you don't want the corn on the cob?
yeah. But I was into the pack of Chips Ahoy very shortly after.
Yeah.
I've already now went to cookies, already took it all the way.
But get this.
Found out your non-alcoholic beer
No, you're not saying the whole
was
story.
actually beer.
Here's my bucket.
Your non-alcoholic beer was actually beer. Then wouldn't you just go get a 5th after that? Would you really? You know what I mean?
He's not including the whole story. I said, are you sure you don't want corn on the cob? Corn on the cob is good for you. And he said, no, I'm not eating carbs. Well, then I look over, I'm like, he doesn't realize that this pack it's like a trail mix called, but it's not.
Yeah.
So corn on the cob would be a good choice.
Yeah, it is.
Corn
Yeah,
on the cob is not keto, but
it's still keto.
Keto
No
is
sugar, no carbs. There's no sugar, no carbs.
keto is not sustainable. It's just not.
There's no carbs.
It's highly processed, so
It's not
It's
sustainable.
not clean keto, but it's keto. Just like pork rinds aren't clean keto, but they.
We need to stop with this keto thing. Keto is not sustainable. I think we've proven that.
Well, somebody, wait, sorry, Ange, we got off track because somebody tried to tell me my Velveeta cheese was not keto. And, I love the Velveeta in the box. That's how nasty I am. That cheese is some good stuff.
We need Christy's help. We need some menu items over here.
All right.
I'm just
Well, look,
Hi, Christy. What'd you say?
I'm amused.
Tell
I
us
don't know
more.
what the deal is.
Renee says that's not cheese. She's right. It's not even cheese. Who knows
Yeah.
what that is?
What? It's Velveeta.
No one said it wasn't, it was cheese. They just said it's keto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keto
Plastic
friendly.
cheese. Yes, look, everybody. Yep.
Yeah. All that booze you drank and now you're talking about our pancreas. Yeah. That booze ain't keto friendly either. Yeah. Well, again, let's just I'm ready just to close it down and finish tonight's topic a little bit and let's hit on a few points real quick and I really want people to understand the beauty of this thing. We used to do a lot more emphasis on how beautiful this whole thing is for your family and what you're going to go through if this journey is done right. The learning that you're going to do with each other, the learning you're going to do about each other, the learning you're going to do to be able to communicate. This thing that breaks you apart at first and then brings you back together and requires it. And the people that make it, anything that's good, everyone doesn't make it. That's just how it is. Anything that's tough, anything we graduate from, anything we get through There's people that didn't get through it. And I'm sorry for those people. But everyone here can get through it. And you can, and that's the deal, is that we shouldn't be so inclined to look at programs and say, what is your success rate? We should be looking at programs and saying, what's your dropout rate? How hard is it to make it through your program? That's a good program. So, and that's any good program. That's Harvard. That's a Navy SEAL, a Green Beret. That's Blue Angels. You don't get to become a Blue Angel because of their success rate. They don't make make Blue Angels out of everyone. And you don't get a master's degree, and you don't get a doctorate, you don't get a PhD by just showing up. You've got to put work into it. And that's the difference. And it's not my work. I've worked plenty hard. I can't work harder for you so that you make it. I can't. In fact, in this program, what I've found to be 100% true is the people that we make very little effort with do the best. And the people that we make a lot of effort with don't make it. That's 100% true. If Kyle and I find ourselves giving a lot of attention to a particular client, they do not make it. The clients that make it begin to do the work themselves and begin to help others make it. That's how it works. They don't require the attention of everyone. They don't require the energy of the program. They start giving to the program. They start breathing life into it. So again, Max is an example of somebody who's making it right now and putting in the work and helping others and not stuck in his own problems. And that work will pay off. So I don't want to take, it's nice. It's nice, the standing ovation and the thing, but I don't think it's worth somebody telling me that I destroyed their life too. Because I didn't either of these things. I was just here. We just gave you the place. We just gave you the community. We just gave you the tools. You got to do it. The possibility came and we opened the door and said, come in. That's it. So again, we'll see you next week. And thank you for tuning in.
Oh, Becky, did you want to say something? Go ahead, Becky.
Well, you were just, talking about putting the work in. And, we just really noticed, like, I was putting in everybody's donations this weekend, and I was just really thankful for, there's so many of you in that room that gave back. There's so many of you in recovery that really stepped up and donated. And like, I don't know, it just really kind of floored me. You guys are awesome. I think Bill wants to say something too.
Yeah, I forgot to mention somebody, Zach Campbell's nephew. Who's
yeah,
13,
Jake.
13 years old. Did you mute us?
Oh, I don't know. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jake.
Jake.
I saved his money.
He saved his money and made a $100 contribution to the Raise the Paddle.
That's so awesome.
Well, and if anyone knows, I'm going to out Shane Fugit really quickly here for a second. I'm going to out him. Mr. Shane Fugit came to the auction and left, and then he told Kyle to put him down for $20. So he texted back and wanted to put in $20 for young Jake, who doesn't even own a car dealership. He put in 100. So I'm going to tease Shane a little bit and prod him about why he thought $20 was going to be effective for his night out at the. We've only bought in 15 cars from that dealership, and he came with the $20 bill, and he didn't donate it. He texted Kyle after he left and said, "Put me down for 20." But we didn't mention to him that the minimum was 25. So if you know Shane, please tell him I was talking about him on Solution Group.
He did bring a few people, though, I guess. Good. Little Jake, he he saved his money. He didn't even tell his grandma. I guess he came in her room in the morning and handed her $100. And she's like, "What's this for?" And he goes, "Well, I did the race of paddle last night."
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that's so cool.
Anyway,
Jennifer's on, but her camera's off. But yeah, you know what, Jake, that's not the first time even. Cut 3 years ago, Jake had his $50 at 3 years ago auction. I think he's 12 now, 12 or 13. So he was like 10 then. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Philanthropist.
he's thankful to have
Pretty
in his-
special. It's amazing.
Anyway,
He's happy.
that's all.
Yeah, he's grateful to have his uncle back in his life, you know, and amazing.
Zach Smith's nephew.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Anything else, guys?
All right.
Once again, thank you for everyone. Yeah, at the auction. Thank you. And thank you for all your support. And thank you for continuing to tune in. We'll see you next week.
Awesome. Good night, everybody. See you moms in the morning, 11 a.m. Good night. Good night.